Welcome back to another lesson in doable DIY decor. Thank you so much for being here. Happy to have you here with me. My name is Valerie. If this is your first time here. Now, in this lesson, we are looking at how to successfully hang your curtain rods to accommodate your curtains or your draperies in your home. Now, I have a list here. Things you will need. That is your checklist. You may need one or more of these items in order to be able to do that DIY project, right? Now, the first thing is your rod and your brackets. Go to the store and choose the rod and the bracket that you want, because that will actually influence everything else. Even when you're making window treatments, it's best to have your curtain rod in place and then measure from that in order to calculate for your fabric to make your curtain, right? Now, one of the things that's important is when you are hanging your rod for your window treatment, you have to make sure that you have enough brackets. Yeah, it's a given. There's going to be one on the right and there's going to be one on the left. But depending on the expanse, you may need one in the middle, or you may need even more than one in between the two end brackets, right? And that is particularly important if you are DIYing your rod, or if you just picked up a rod in the thrift store without brackets, right? Now, if you're DIYing like I did, I just went into the hardware store and I got myself some water pipes and I used them for window, for rods, right? And I had to buy brackets to go with them. So be cognizant of your expanse and how many brackets you will need to successfully hang the curtain rod to accommodate the curtains or the draperies. The next thing we're looking at is anchors. Basically, okay, so if you have a concrete wall, you can get concrete screws. So you may not need an anchor. However, there are anchors that are made for concrete, brick, any type of masonry structure. And so be cognizant of your situation. If you have a concrete wall, then make sure you choose anchors or screws for concrete, right? If you have drywall, then make sure you choose your anchors for your drywall. Now, there are like lots of anchors that you can buy cheap in the dollar store, which there's nothing wrong with that. However, the cheapest sometimes can become the dearest. So the most expensive, yeah, that's an expression we use back home in Jamaica. I'm not quite sure if you know that expression, but yeah, the cheapest can sometimes become the dearest, because you can buy an anchor that doesn't go with your wall, or you try to put it in your drywall or something, and you put your rod, then you hang your curtain and it rips out. Then what? You got to go patch that drywall and get everything done right. And that is why we say it becomes the dearest, because then you have to go spend more money to do all that patch job. Okay, yeah, another thing that will influence your anchor that you get is the weight of the window treatment that you are hanging. Different anchors will carry different weights, so be aware of that. Yeah, the next thing you need is a drill. You need a drill because you will need that drill. Well, you don't need the drill to screw the screw in, because you could use a screwdriver, right? But you will need a drill to drill the hole into the wall to accommodate your anchor. Now, I would suggest to you that when you buy your anchor and you are going to drill your hole, you look at the package, because usually they will tell you what size bit you need to use to drill the hole for the anchor that's in the package. If you do not have that, then the best thing to do is to keep your bit the same size as the anchor. Okay? Now, the next thing is, yeah, we spoke about the screwdriver you can use to screw in your screw into the anchor. Now, your hammer or mallet, maybe a rubber mallet might be better because you will need it to tap that anchor into the hole after you have drilled that hole. Next, you need a measuring tape. The measuring tape will actually help you to measure out on your wall around your window where you want to place your curtain rod. Now, the tape that you should use is a metal tape. Never use a cloth or a vinyl tape because they are not rigid and so they can skew your measurement. You need to use a rigid metal measuring tape. You also need a pencil. In a minute, we'll show you why you need the pencil. A stud finder. You may or may not need a stud finder. A stud finder actually help you to find where the studs are in the wall. Yeah, your stud finder will help you to find studs in your wall. So for example, if you have your window and you are close to a stud where you can use the stud, where you can drill or screw your rod directly into the stud, then that will be a good thing, right? So you won't need the step of putting in the anchor. You can just screw your rod directly into the stud. Now the next thing is a level. And I put a level in because, take for example, you measure from the ceiling to find the placement, or you measure from the floor to find the placement, and you live in an old crooked home like mine and everything is not all squared, then your window treatment can be wonky, right? And so when you put one bracket in, it's a good idea to rest your rod on it, and that is why I say you should have help. Help comes in that you rest your rod on the one side and the person that's helping you will hold the rod up to where the other side is supposed to be. Then you use your level in the middle to make sure that your curtain is going to be level when you are finished installing it. So yeah, this is your checklist in order to be able to install rods for your draperies. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know if this is useful to you. Let me know if there is anything that I can share with you that can help you to easily DIY projects around your home. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you for the next lesson.